what's his name? The Liddell
Oh
Tito.
yeah, of
Oh
course we got
God.
to talk about that.
Yeah. Welcome, motherfuckers. That we I just got triggered. Welcome to another episode of the Keyboard Warriors. My name's Eddie Law. That's Jesse Rubakawa. That's Fred Kirby. Yeah, you guys heard us talking about it a second ago. We're gonna start off with this Tito and Chuck Liddell thing. Look, we all saw that. I mean, look, I watched it. I found it on YouTube, and I watched the entire quote unquote fight on YouTube. I didn't watch it live. I wasn't paying for that shit. If you did, God bless you. Yeah, all right, you put some money in someone's pocket. But Fred, did you get to see it?
Yeah, same jive as you, man. I tell you what, man, I'm a fucking heathen too, man. I almost bought this shit just because I was sitting there Saturday night being lame as fuck, didn't have nothing to do. I'm like, fuck it. But that's how bad this shit was. I still couldn't bring myself to do it. I tried to pilfer it, couldn't find no shit online. Ironically enough, I thought they'd be giving this shit away. I couldn't find the link for the old podunk ass shit. So I watched it on Twitter that night, and then I did the same thing as you. I watched it on YouTube a day or two later. I watched the whole 4 minutes or whatever it was of the first round for as long as it lasted.
What do you think?
Shameful shit, man. Shameful shit, man. Listen, hindsight's 2020, right? So it's easy to look back on it and call it a travesty because that's what it was. And in hindsight, it most certainly fucking was a car wreck waiting to happen. Again, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that now. But now that we're here, where are we going to place the blame? It's time to blame some motherfuckers. I ain't blaming Chuck. Chuck's a goddamn animal. He's old. Right. He's fucking delusional. Of course, it don't take a whole lot to talk Chuck Liddell's funny ass into getting in the cage. And it's Tito Ortiz, a dude he's done knocked out twice and can't stand. Of course, Chuck took the bait. That's not surprising, and I don't hold it against Chuck. Now, leaves us with two culprits, right? Mm-hmm. We got Oscar De La Hoya's funny ass trying to turn a nickel on these two old clowns, and we got the California State Athletic Commission even commissioning it. So I'll start it off by posing the question to you two gentlemen. Who do you place the blame on for this travesty more, De La Hoya or the Athletic Commission?
You go first.
Or even letting it happen.
I'm gonna go with De La Hoya. I'm not placing any blame on. Well, okay. Not that I'm not placing any blame on the California Athletic Commission, but they tried to do the due diligence that they would do, which is if you go back and find out, they had him do extra MRIs, they had him do extra testing to make sure that at least he was capable enough to fight. Okay, so there's not much they could do there, short of just saying, you know what, man, like you're too old, we just can't license you. But if someone wants to fight, that's just what it is, man. You gotta do the testing, and then you gotta let them decide what they want to decide to do. But it's that promoter that is these are the top results. Is scrupulous enough to just basically want to screw a guy over and his livelihood by getting beat up like that, because that's what it was, man. It was just sad to see a guy like that get knocked out so easily. It was just sad. But on the bright side, let's talk about everybody else that benefited on the undercard. Would you not say that for the most part, most of the guys got paid pretty well on the undercard?
I heard some shit about them getting paid some horse shit.
No, fucking Jesse. I don't know whether you're just trying to stir me up or cause some controversy on this podcast, but goddamn it, no. I would directly disagree with that. I see motherfuckers getting paid 1-1, 3-3.
Some ridiculous.
De La Hoya had some kind of stones on him.
And De La Hoya was talking shit before about that, about the UFC not paying their guys.
Where did you get those numbers?
I fucking forget, but it was somewhere fucking reputable. That was the numbers that were going around from what I seen. First off, I heard Dana White say that somewhere, which that doesn't hold a whole lot of credence because obviously he's going to, do his thing and argue against it. But I heard it from somewhere else too. I want to say maybe fucking Junkie or MMA Fighting. Somebody fucking credible ran a report on the number. I think
you want to hear it? I got the numbers.
Okay.
I also have the numbers. That's why I was trying to talk about it.
So MMA Fighting put the numbers up. But you go ahead, Jesse.
Okay.
Let's hear yours first, Jesse. Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Look, let's talk about Mr. Francisco Estrada winning 1,000 to show 1,000 to win, right? That's the lowest paid guy on the card. Yeah. From there, it's $12.50 for a guy named Jose Huerta. 12 win, 1250. Yeah. You know, and basically it just goes up from there. I mean, 2,500 for another guy, James Barnes.
Hey, real quick, our boy Ricky took home 10 G's, so good for him.
10 G's. Yeah, you know what? And I talked to him about this earlier today because I wanted to know what his experience was like. And I know it's a little bit of a skewed experience just because he is managed by Tito Ortiz's company. But he had a great time. He got paid well. He got treated well. And I asked him if he was willing to work with Golden Boy Promotions again, and he said yes. So, you know, for me, hearing a guy like Ricky, who has fought for Combates, has competed for other companies, for him to say that it was worth it to him and that he was happy with what he got, and the treatment he got. I mean, I kind of think that a lot of people are just crapping on the promotion just to crap on it. And I understand what you're saying, Fred. 1,000 to show and 1,000 to win doesn't sound like a lot. But we also have to remember Bellator did try to get a guy who was like undefeated, a good prospect. They tried to give him, what was it, like $500 to show and $500 to win, I think is what they were offering, and telling him, well, we're giving you a good opportunity to be on Bellator. So, I mean, that's some shady stuff right there.
Listen. With all due respect to our boy who is a friend of this show and who's been on this show, I don't give a fuck. Oscar De La Hoya. Look, what's the minimum you come into the UFC at? 10-10?
Something like that.
Minimum, yeah. Right? 10-10. 10 to,
right.
10 to show, 10 to win. That's like bottom fucking dollar. And everybody likes to fucking cry. Oscar De La Hoya at the top of the list about the UFC's pay scale. Are you fucking kidding me? That's fucking ridiculous. Listen, all these cats would have made more money if they would have been fighting at fucking 2 in the morning in Bangkok in the UFC. Right. That last little fucking event in China, every one of those motherfuckers that we didn't know the name of made more money than 90% of the people on this card. Even fucking Chuck and Tito. Rumor has it only made 200 and then 250, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, so Tito got 200, no win bonus, and Chuck took home 250.
Yeah, and they can have a piece of the pay-per-view points.
Yeah, who knows what that was?
That's a fun question, too. Before those numbers come out, how many fucking pay-per-views you guys think this fucking did?
Dude.
I say about 67 and a half.
Yeah, dude, look, I saw a lot of like people last second on Twitter saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to buy it. And I'm just like, hey, man, do you? Let me know how it goes. Like,
okay, all jokes aside, how many pay-per-views do you think this sold? Real shit.
Fuck.
I mean, I think...
Dude, 20, I don't know.
25?
Maybe.
Wow, you some hating ass mofos up in here.
You really think it did more?
Okay,
like, there's no fucking way, man. They were charging 40 spanks for it.
Were they? No, they were charging cheaper than that.
Get the fuck out of here. Wait, are you working for Golden Boy Jesse? That bullshit $20 Black Friday thing.
He met up with Oscar in LA and he was like, hey man, just cut me in some of that money. Some of that
you're bringing up some real bullshit right now, my dude. What the fuck?
Hey man, you know, this my shirt, even though it says Golden Boy, I'm not bought by them, you know. I'm not, you know, that as long as their check cleared, you know, it's all good. No, you know what? Look, what was it that I was talking about before that you guys were calling BS on me? It's good for the fighters, right? What's good for the fighters is if the fighters had a platform and they were able to get paid, and they're not going to get paid this amount of money in another promotion, that's great for them. Because what we're saying is, if these guys were UFC caliber, or if they were able to be in the UFC, how many of these guys are really going to be UFC caliber guys where the UFC is going to be like, yeah, we're going to give you a shot? Plus, Fred, let me tell you a little something. Just because it's in the disclosed areas where we can see how much people are getting paid, that it's 10 and 10 doesn't necessarily mean people make 10 and 10. Because I'm sure when they go to China and then they're their own commission and they don't have to disclose the money, I'm sure some of those Asian guys are getting, you know, 10,000 yen, and it's probably like $50. So I don't think they're getting paid fairly.
Okay, I'm sure you're working for Golden Boy now. You're just starting in with the hating and the tails. Man, they ain't paying them. You really think the UFC's pulling some type of bullshit gimmicks like that?
Hey,
baby, we just spent 10,000 rubies, baby.
I'm just no, think about it though, Fred. Do you really think that they are actually paying every single guy 10 and 10 minimum in these places where you've never even heard of these guys that are on Fight Pass, and that's all they're ever going to fight is on Fight Pass one time for the UFC. You really think they're getting 10 and 10?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think they're getting what the UFC says they're getting. So if the price is 10 and 10, there's a minimum in the UFC. It might be 5 and 5, but there's a fucking minimum. I think it's 10 and 10. Like I don't think the UFC can just be like, yo, here's 2. They don't work like Bellator, man. Like people like to hate on the UFC, but at the end of the day, they are our best representation for our fucking sport, man. Like Golden Boy, Bellator, all this nonsense. Like UFC's still the fucking
okay. Okay, let's say you're right. They are the the top of the heap, right?
Right.
How come so many fighters are willing to leave the UFC for greener pastures, to get paid more, to get paid in general?
Everybody's situation is different.
Okay,
some people, the pastures don't end up being so fucking green. You understand me?
Oh, because they get knocked out, because it doesn't work out for them, right? Yeah, I understand.
Or things just don't pan out like they thought. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like, but this shit is all individualistic to certain fighters. Certain fighters do work better outside the UFC, but most guys, look, you're gonna get the most money in the UFC. Period. Like that, at the end of the day, that's how it's going to go. I mean, Mighty Mouse might be able to sign big checks and won, but the reality is, if Mighty Mouse stayed in the UFC and kept winning, eventually he would have made more money there.
No, he wouldn't have.
You're crazy.
Now I'm calling BS on you.
You're crazy as fuck. If he just smashed and kept moving up the ladder, you get bigger fights.
This is crap.
He ain't getting paid that much. Yo, how much y'all think one is paying Mighty Mouse? Like, can we fucking calm down? Y'all act like y'all think they're paying Mighty Mouse millions per a fight.
Now they're probably not. I think the one is offering him is opportunities to make money elsewhere too. But here's the thing, like, and we have a couple comments here on YouTube. But as far as like who gets paid the most, UFC's the top is number one, right, in the sport, like you said, right. Let's look at, for example. Let's look at fucking Golden Boy. Okay, they didn't pay very much to the undercard guys. Like, yeah, I get it. You know, our boy made 5 and 5, took home 10 G's. That's great, right? But if we look at like Bellator, who claims to be paying their fighters a shitload of money, we go to 1. Those organizations are still like they're 2 and 3 ranked. If we were at the ranked organizations, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean anything. I don't think you're gonna pay to be number 2 or number 3. You might have to invest money to get money, but still. Real quick, just a couple comments on the YouTube. Your George Tremendous, what I do, says that Loya is the one. He's blaming Oscar. He's a fucking cokehead douche. And then Raider says everyone knows that Loya is the way he is. What about the people around Chuck, like his wife Antonio McKee? Antonio McKee's the guy that trained him. If you saw any of the footage, pre-fight of just Chuck hitting pads, like you saw that, and you're like, oh, please be fucking around. Like, do not be serious right now.
It's a fair point.
It's a fair point. But remember, his ultimate trainer, John Hackelman, didn't even want to train him for this fight. Literally was saying, like, dude, like, just don't do this.
Right.
So that's actually a guy that was looking out for his buddy, his best friend, basically, and he didn't even listen to John Hackelman,
Yeah.
So again, what it goes back to, we all know Chuck needs the money, right? We know Tito doesn't need the money. He's not really a guy that, is out there, just spending his cash. He's been pretty smart with his money. He has his gym, he has his clothing line that, questionable as it might be, apparently it still sells and makes money for him. But he's been smart with his money. All right. So it wasn't for money for Tito, but for Chuck it was. And now he's gonna have what, $200,000 in the bank, at least to
how much is
hopefully help
these days?
I don't know.
They ain't gonna last that long with all that shit. That shit's not cheap.
Yo, you know what's crazy, man? Sitting here thinking about this before we kind of put a bow on this whole Chuck and Tito thing. We're going to talk about Sage Northcutt. We're going to talk about John Jones this episode. This is a theme that's going to run through all these stories. MMA is an ever-changing and evolving sport, man. I mean, if you think back to the second time that Chuck threw Tito a beating, and you could, morph us all back there and say, check this out, guys. In like 9 years, Tito's going to knock Chuck out. He's going to be coming off a win over Chael Sonnen. He's going to have more money, more fame, arguably more notoriety. Like, you just would have never thought in a million years this is how this story would have played out, with Chuck getting knocked out on the feet by Tito Ortiz 9 years later. Like, it's so not what I thought would happen at all. You know what I mean? Like, it just, the tides have turned so much, man. Chuck used to be our fucking Conor McGregor. Joey Tremendez, you're new to the game. There was a point in time where Chuck Liddell was fucking Conor McGregor, and I do not say that loosely. He was on Entourage, big fucking shows and movies and shit. Like, there was a time when he was the absolute biggest star in the sport by a country fucking mile. And look at him now, man. So, Conor, you better fucking be cool, Jack. 5 or 6 years can't fucking change everything in this game.
Let me ask you a question then, Fred. Do you think that we're going to be looking back at this story, as sad as it might be, but do you think that's the path that people like Anderson Silva, Nogueira, Vitor Belfort, guys like that?
I was gonna say Vitor's the guy I guarantee he called Oscar immediately after this shit.
Right. Maybe even a Rashad Evans or Lyoto Machida. A Shogun Hua, who is fighting a top-ranked guy coming up pretty soon here. Do you think that's the story that we're just going to keep replaying over and over and over again, where we see these guys, you know, just want to capture glory again, get trotted out there and just get butchered like this every single time?
Sure. Yeah, man. I mean, look, we all like to make fun of Brendan Schaub. How you pronounce that prick's last name? Schaub? Schaub. Schwab. I always fuck it up.
No, you just call him dumbass. That's good.
Fair enough. Listen, as big a dumbass as he is, most people don't do it like him. He did it right, man.
Yes, he did.
Actually walked away when it was the right fucking time, and most of these guys just don't get that note. I mean, again, we'll talk about all this shit going through the episode, but Anderson Silva's about to face Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. And I mean, look, we all know who Anderson is, but at this point in the game, there's a good chance that he's just coming there to get snuffed and pass the torch.
He's gonna get fucked up.
And I mean, you know, and you think back again to what Anderson used to be. Yeah, I look at the end of the day. Yes, I do think that we're just going to keep seeing this. These old fighters who just don't look. BJ Penn, I'm so fucking like he is my all-time favorite fucking fighter, man. And he's fighting Ryan Hall. What is it next weekend? I guess on so. The Ortega and Holloway card. It's coming up. And I'm scared to death. I don't want to see him compete, man. I don't want to see him get submitted by a cat that I think he would have tied in pretzels 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. This is what we have to watch our heroes die hard in MMA, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's stuff that a lot of us are gonna be like, oh fuck, I don't want to see that shit, right? Like none of us wanted to see BJ Penn get pieced up by Dennis Seaver of all fucking people.
What the fuck was that?
Dennis Seaver pieced him the fuck up.
Listen, okay? You want to know a dirty secret? Sorry to cut you off. You want to know a dirty secret? I haven't watched that. That's the only fight in fucking probably 12 years. I missed it. I was doing something that night, and when I heard what happened, I never went back and watched it. There's not a meaningful fight that I haven't missed in like 15 years in the sport. That's the one. I heard what happened. I heard that Dennis Seaver knocked BJ out, and I thought, fuck that. I'm not watching that.
Dude, people thought it was bad when Yair fucked that BJ Penn. I thought that was bad. Dennis Seaver fucking him up was embarrassing. Yeah, it was like sad.
I was willing to take Yair. After Yair, I thought BJ would retire. I thought, okay, look, BJ, there you go. Be fucking young kid just thunderstruck you. Please walk away. But these guys don't. And you end up looking like Chuck Liddell getting fucking KO'd by a cat that you've KO'd twice. Like, we know that's not how this fucking story's supposed to end. If that right there isn't picture perfect proof that some of y'all motherfuckers don't need to come back in that cage. This is it. Chuck Liddell is not supposed to lose to Tito Ortiz, and he sure as fuck is supposed to lose like that.
They all need to get that fucking Joe Rogan talk the way Schaub did. Somehow he talked that motherfucker. He talked that motherfucker into another career because he's like, yeah, fuck that
shit. Doing great. He's doing great. I mean, I don't think any of us are massive fans of Brendan's, but I mean, he is fucking killing it. He's doing really well for himself, all things considered.
No, 100%. Like, I don't watch any of his shit, but all power to him, dude. Get that money.
Doing stand-up comedy and shit. I don't think he's funny as a motherfucker at all. But like doing his thing. So
So let me ask you this then. How do we solve this problem, and how do we get more Brendan Schaubs to walk away before we start seeing this sad affair.
You don't. You let this shit happen and watch the younger guys see the shit.
You don't. I mean, because look, here's the deal. People will still be able to make money off of these guys, and these guys are delusional. They're animals, man. They're gladiators. Like, they don't want to quit. And to be fair to them, it's a lifestyle. They don't got nothing else, man. These cats train for fights. They fight. They make a lot of money in one fell swoop. They probably live hard. You know what I mean? When you make fucking 500 grand or $1 million once every 3 months, you probably spend it fast. You get used to that lifestyle. You get used to training with all the guys. Like, I see why it's hard, especially when you've been doing it for 20 years. Yeah. You did it wrestling before, and then all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, cool beans, go do whatever the fuck. I totally get why it's hard for the, and not to mention the rush, walking out from all those people, that everybody adoring you and saying your name and doing interviews and shit. Like, I fucking get it, man. You're probably never going to stop those fuckers from just not wanting to quit. I mean, you know, you'll have a Joe Rogan or a Dana White every once in a while who will actually like have a buddy that they'll try to keep it 100 with. But like, this is the fight game, right? This is how we do.
Okay, last question then. Is this the situation that we're going to end up seeing with Anderson Silva? We just kind of briefly broached it, but is Anderson Silva at the point where we need to have the talk with him? We need to sit him down and go, dude, like, it's just not working out for you, and we need you to step away and not get killed by Israel Adesanya or whoever the next big up-and-comer is.
So who's the last guy he fought? Was it Nick?
No, Brunson.
Oh, right. Brunson beat him, right? Or did he beat Brunson?
He beat Brunson.
Okay, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay. Look, I don't think we'll get that. We'll get that with Anderson. I think Anderson's gonna be smarter than that. I think if you throw enough money at Anderson Silva, he'll do it. But it ain't gonna be no $250K. I think it'll be more than that. But,
I mean,
I don't know.
At the end of the day, too, man, the problem is these fuckers can generate money. And so, like, it's hard to tell Anderson, you know, it's hard to do for a lot of these cats what Dana did for Chuck. Right. You know what I mean? Take a guy that you know y'all can still generate millions of dollars on and be like, look, bro, I love you. We're not in the Chuck Liddell business no more. Sorry. Even though we know you want to, and we know we can put you against anybody on the roster and it's going to do fucking millions of dollars. I fuck with you, and we don't need the money. This ain't that no more. The UFC's like, what? BJ Penn still wants to fight? Trot him on out. I don't give a fuck if he dies. He's another 100,000 pay-per-view buys.
Right. You know, remember, this is not for Titas anymore. This is not Zuffa.
If Anderson wants it, they're going to give him a fight until it's like scary, until the fans are like, okay, we don't really want to support this no more, then they might let him go. But as long as we're like, ooh, Israel Adesanya versus fucking Anderson Silva, they're like, fuck yeah, it's ching. Try Anderson out there, let him take a beating.
I think there's no way to solve this shit. I think it's gonna be all the younger guys watching all these older guys take, you know, get all fucked up, going to their, you know, 50s and 60s, and like barely being able to walk and talk and all this shit. Though when they start seeing that, they'll think about it. Why do I think that? Because in the NFL, you start to see guys retire younger, right? There's that cat that came out, I forgot what school he came out of, but he was playing, and then like he played like 2 or 3 years, and he bailed, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
He thought guys like Junior Seau would shoot himself in the chest. Why? Because he wanted to protect his brain so he could study it. That dude, I think, was it Washington or Kansas City, went to this facility and shot himself in front of the coaching staff. Fucking all these guys, they're seeing all these dudes. So now the younger generation of football players are seeing this, and they're like, "Oh man, fucking at that point, it's bullshit." So I think it's gonna like sort itself out in that manner, but we're gonna see a lot more sad shit before we see these younger guys have some common sense and bail at the right time. But I don't know. We have enough examples like Brendan Schaub, and I don't know. I think has been anybody else that's like retired like young that could have kept going.
I mean, Chris Lytle did it pretty well.
Right. Yeah, but he was still past his prime as well. True. And he still did come back for some BS boxing, right? Afterwards.
Yeah, but like he wasn't taking like high level mixed martial arts. He done some bullshit, but like he walked away at a pretty decent time when it was right. He didn't come in and take no unnecessary beatings. You know, he ain't no fucking.
Would you say Rousey? You think Rousey left?
Well,
no, let's just call it retired. Let's just call it retired.
You know what, man? I still say I don't want to get off a tangent. We got shit to talk about, but I still think Ronda left prematurely.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I still don't think she's as bad as everybody thought. Like, she was trash. Like, I still think she could have won fights, man. I mean, She wasn't used to getting hit. She started getting hit. You can develop that shit, man. Go to Thailand and do Muay Thai for like 6 months. Just get punched in the face over and over and over again. Just like anything. You'd be surprised what humans can get used to if it happens over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like getting punched in the face. Boxers and Muay Thai guys, they don't like getting punched in the face. They're just used to it because it happens. Like if Ronda could have got that a little bit, she's still a bad bitch. You know what I mean? Like, don't let a couple L's fool y'all hoes out there. People be acting like Ronda is just a joke. Ronda's still young, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think she's as horrible as we kind of painted her as. She left on bad terms, but like Ronda could still be. I think Ronda could still compete if she really wanted to. Maybe not be a champion, but like there's hoes in the UFC that Ronda Rousey can beat. Make no mistake about it.
100%. I totally agree. All right. Real quick, somebody says Northcutt. You know, word is he's going to 1. That's what they're saying. And Dana White coming out. Yeah, we're gonna let him go. We can go somewhere else and develop, and we'll see what we'll see how it goes. Basically, him totally like saving face, right? Just saving face. Try to make sure that the UFC doesn't look like they lost somebody. Make it look like they just let him go to get more experience. Fred, good move, let him go, or bad move?
Bad move, I think. I'm wondering why they let him go. The little fuckers does numbers. He's an exciting fighter. I wonder what happened. I suppose the only answer could be that he wanted too much money, right? Probably. But then the question becomes like,
they give him 40-40 to start. They give him 40-40 as to start in the UFC.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know. It seems weird that they couldn't come up with a price on this kid because he does numbers. So he must have been asking for something ludicrous for them to just be like, "Fuck it, walk."
Plus, remember he was on a 3-fight winning streak as well. Right now, that he's walking away from. So, yeah, I agree with you, Fred. It's probably money. It's probably them just not coming to agreement. And like you said before, this is in the UFC. And if you're not making the money that you're supposed to be making and you're asking for too much, they're just going to let you go, man. They let some pretty awesome fighters go. And now they're bringing other guys in. And, I think it's just the way of the sport now.
I think that over the next year or so, we are going to start seeing some real big transformations in the MMA landscape. And what I mean by that is I think this is a kind of a ballsy thing. I think the UFC might be losing its stranglehold on this sport. I just don't think they got the right guys there no more.
Hot take.
Every week it just seems like it's almost like Trump being president. It just seems like it keeps getting kind of worse and worse and a little stranger and a little like, okay, so now we're trading Mighty Mouse to 1. Fair enough. We're cutting Sage Northcutt. Again, it's not like he's a major star, but what the fuck would you cut the kid for? I mean, he's got all the charisma in the world. Bitches love him. Guys love him, or they love to hate him. He's polarizing. He's a fun fighter. I'm not a big Sage Northcutt fan, but why the fuck would you let the little prick go? It's not like you got a shitload of stars right now. He couldn't have been asking for that much.
Right.
I mean, are y'all down?
Why would you let Yair walk for a brief moment that he did walk?
Listen, again, that's what I'm saying, though. I feel like the UFC, and then they keep around a lot of questionable people, kind of, that it's like, I don't know, man. The UFC is just doing a lot of weird shit, man. They're making a lot of strange, funny moves. And I feel like the more they do shit like this, it's going to start to fucking really, Sage ain't somebody you want to let go, man. If he goes to 1, that's a sprinkle on their cupcake. Look at fucking 1 now. They got Eddie Alvarez, Super Sage, Demetrius Johnson. We're going to fucking turn around, and they're going to be a legit thing.
Misha Tate?
She's like, right?
Nonetheless, like though, sort of president or whatever over there. So.
It is an addition, though. You're right, and I mean,
I can't even run the office, bro.
Bellator gets more and more people as time goes on, man. I mean, there was a time where Bellator competing with the UFC was a literal joke, and it still is for now. But the more they keep pushing, the more the UFC just keeps letting people go. This is going to get interesting, man. Over the course of time, like the UFC is not got the right people fucking steering the ship no more. And I would almost put a little more faith in Scott Coker. than the cats that are fucking leading the UFC right now. So,
Fred, can we just say it then? We all miss Joe Silva.
oh God, yes.
Yeah.
God, yes.
Joe Silva wouldn't let any of these guys walk. He wouldn't allow that BJ Penn fight. He wouldn't allow a lot of these things to go on.
And the Fertittas, to keep it a buck. Like, if the Fertittas and Joe Silva was around, that shit was like family. Like, they were, what was it? Was it Lorenzo? It was Lorenzo that was always getting shit done. DW would come in and be a dickhead, and then Lorenzo would come in like a fucking smooth G every time and get shit done. Like the Fertittas, Dana White, and Joe Silva. That's when the UFC was in its prime, Jack. Like, fight falls out, no biggie. They would get, I swear, if the Fertittas were running shit, we would have seen DJ versus TJ.
Oh, we got in that fight.
They would have fucking figured it out, man. They would have figured it out. They always did. They always did. Now it's fucking strange, man. Sometimes the fights are good, and sometimes we're all left scratching our fucking head.
A lot of the time, too. Real quick, some of the comments on the YouTube channel. Raider says, totally agree. I still want Ronda versus Cat rematch. There's so much more we could have gotten from her, speaking of Ronda. Sure. Joey says, Sage should have gone to train with the Diaz brothers. He would have got more money. Questionable. I think they would have just not given him anything. I think he would have gone to train with Conor. He might have got more money. You never know. I mean, fuck, ask Artem about that shit. Dave Matt hanging out. What up, dude? He says, I can't believe how many people were cool with Sage leaving. Raider says, Raider says one must be offering way more or perks like the video game thing with DJ. And then she asks, is Sage still with Team Alpha Male? Which Dave Mann says, I think Sage is still with Team Alpha Male. I saw some dude saying how he hasn't been there lately, though. And then Dave Mann says, like keeping Yushin Okami, like the question when moves in the UFC, like keeping Yushin Okami. Okami. That dude is fighting this weekend. Shake my head.
Right. No, it's a fact. I mean, even Shogun, man, as much as, I mean, listen, I was alive and around and happy and watching MMA during the Pride heyday.
Yeah, when he was the man.
I don't bit more care about watching Shogun who will fight now than the man in the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, that boat has set. What are we getting out of it? Do anybody think that Shogun's fighting for a title? Like, what in the fuck is going on? Why the fuck are we watching Shogun fight this upcoming, not this next weekend, but the weekend after? What the fuck? It's ridiculous. And then they let Sage go? How old is Sage now? 21? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, he's nowhere near his prime. You know what I mean? Like, we got Shogun. His prime was a decade ago. And then you're letting Sage go, and he ain't probably a decade from entering his prime. Like, what the fuck is going on?
No, I'm with you. Real quick.
Fred.
What up?
No, go ahead, Eddie.
No, I was about to change the subject, so go ahead.
No. I just think that we are such old school like MMA heads that we're seeing the transition happening. But imagine the people that are just jumping into the sport right now, becoming Conor fans that are trying to follow what Conor does. To them, this is just normal. This is the new normal for them. This is what the sport is. And so though the casual fans are just becoming, these casual fans that are kind of a little bit more hardcore, but they're used to this stuff already. See, us, we were fans of like that old era and how everything used to be and how everybody used to treat everybody and how the UFC was just the gold standard of everything. And now that's gone. And that's what we miss. And that's what we keep fighting against. But we have to understand that that's no longer the case. And it's sad because you think about it. What does everybody associate with MMA when you say, oh, I'm watching the big fight this week in the MMA fight? Oh, you mean UFC? It's always UFC. It's never MMA. It's never Bellator. It's nothing else. It's the UFC. And now that's all going to waste to these casuals. Okay. I'm seeing Eddie's face react, so I want to hear what this is.
No, honestly, yeah. So I'm reading up right now. So while you guys, every time we do the show, just fucking fourth wall. While we're talking, everything, I'm listening and paying attention, but I'm also like looking up things to talk about and also the shit. Look up some details I'm looking for. So we were looking at. It took a minute to get it up here, but we were talking about Oscar De La Hoya and Dana White and all that, and then the pay-per-view buys, right? So we all know that most of the time you gotta take with Chael, if not all the time, you gotta take with Chael Sonnen says with a nice healthy cup of fucking salt. Right. He tweeted out apparently 4 hours ago. He goes, take a guess how many pay-per-views Tito and Chuck sold. Winner gets a free Bad Guy Inc. tee from chaelsonnen.com. Here's a hint. Go low, lower. That's it. So then the winning guess, and he says bingo, email the website for first free shirt. The winning guess, 25,000.
Ooh.
If that is true,
Ain't that what I said earlier? I guess
yeah, you said about 25.
God damn, son of a bitch! I wish I would know about this little stupid competition before. I don't know if I'd wear that fucking shirt, but still.
It's well, as far as 25,000. She also had a response to him saying, "Bingo, email at info or email info@bagguy.com." If that's true, you put Chuck through all that shit. Sure, it's like $30 each. Was it 30 or 40? I heard 40.
It was 40, unless you got the Black Friday special for 20 that was on for like a day and a half.
No, it wasn't even on at all.
Or whatever the fuck. It was basically.
Oh, they canceled it? Oh, yeah. I remember Fight TV. Fight TV's Twitter was like, we can't honor that because of contractual agreements.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, it was yeah.
To be fair, that's not bad.
That's what it was.
Right. Like, what did you think you were going to get with Chuck Tito 3 on fucking pay-per-view, man? Who the fuck was paying for that, bro? That was a fucking Paramount fight if I've ever fucking seen one, man.
Yeah, I would just love to see, I mean, obviously the numbers between, I don't know, can they measure the pirated numbers, do you think? Or maybe just guess?
The what numbers?
Like the numbers from like the streams and shit?
No, they can't.
Oh, well, I mean, those are probably a lot more. I mean, there was like 1 million views on YouTube for the fight when I watched it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like 1.3 million or some shit like that. So look, for free, that bitch will get watched. You know what I mean? Like if they had streamed it live on YouTube, it probably would have had 3 or 4 or 5 million views. But asking motherfuckers to pay $40, the world is hurting. We're running out of water and shit. Like ain't nobody paying $40 to see Chuck Tito 3, Jack.
Right. So you guys see that shit where Dana White was like talking shit on Oscar De La Hoya, calling him Oscar De La Weirdo and all that. Yeah. So it's like he's talking about how this fight was disgusting and the fact that state of California even let that fight happen is disgusting and all this shit. Well, De La Hoya responded in statements telling Dana White to shut the fuck up, and he's like, Dana is so small and threatened by our success with streaming service DAZN, right? Yeah. And now in MMA that he is bringing up news from a decade ago to try to stay relevant, talking about De La Hoya's coke usage. He goes, boxing has entirely rejected him, and MMA fighters are now realizing they don't have to risk their lives just so he can get rich. Golden Boy and I are moving forward and are bigger than ever. Dana should just shut the fuck up and try to figure out how to save his own company. I don't know how to take that from a guy that was calling Chuck Liddell Chuck Liddell and couldn't remember the names of anybody on the undercard or anybody other than Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell.
Listen, there won't be a Golden Boy MMA Promotions too. So all due respect, De La Hoya can shut the fuck up because there'll be not. Yeah, and to keep it a buck, he better pray to every fucking deity he's ever heard of. That goddamn it, Canelo Alvarez don't fucking cut a pinky toe off or some shit. If something happens to Canelo, God forbid he fucking catches pneumonia or the like, Oscar and fucking Golden Boy are curtains. Who else do they got? Do they got Lomachenko?
No, they got Canelo. They don't have Canelo. They have Canelo. They have
they got Canelo. Do they got anybody else that does numbers over Golden Boy other than Canelo? I don't think they do. They might have some. I mean, I know Golden Boy has more boxers, but they don't got none of the names, right? They don't got Lomachenko. They don't got Deontay Wilder. They ain't got Floyd. You know, any of the pricks that we get, the Andre Ward. They don't got none of them cats, right? They got Canelo. That's it.
Right.
So Oscar De La Hoya better pray to fucking Christ nothing happens to Canelo or his whole fucking world is sunk. So, you know, he better worry about his own fucking self. The UFC will be fine with or without Dana, with or without Chuck. Oh, do they have Triple G too?
Oh, they just got Triple G.
What did the Zone get him or did Golden Boy get him?
The Zone,
Golden Boy, and the Zone.
Oh shit! For real?
Yeah, that's who brokered the deal.
Really? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Either way.
All right.
They can only fight each other so many times. God damn it.
Did they?
No. I don't know if you saw this real quick. I know we want to move on real quick from this, but I don't know if you saw also the Ramzan Kadyrov, his MMA promotion is merging with the other Russian promotion. What is it?
ACB.
ACB.
Okay.
So now it's going to be Kadyrov running both promotions, I guess, of some sorts.
Huh.
So for my money, I'm no longer going to support ACB. Not that I ever did, but even more reasons to never even talk about ACB.
That sucks because they were doing a like a jiu-jitsu type of event that I kind of enjoyed, but nobody watched. ACB. So that kind of fucking sucks.
Man, fuck ACB and Kadyrov. You understand me? Ain't nobody watching that bullshit anyways. Them damn dudes better fucking take their money and shuffle it into something else.
Right.
Well, who's been playing that fucking big muscle man prick they had? Marty Putinauskis or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right. And then I was thinking, I'm just looking around for headlines and shit right now. Turns out they've gotten an alternate just in case either Max Holloway or Brian Ortega don't make it to 231, which I think is next weekend. Am I right on that?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It is Renato Moicano. He's going to be the alternate. So if either one of those guys falls out, that dude is going to be the backup.
Yeah.
It's quite possible.
That's a little strange.
Yeah, well, but it's quite possible knowing what we know of Max Holloway's recent weight issue or weight cut issues, right?
I understand it. It's just that's kind of an odd name. I get it too, but still, that would be a weird feeling.
It's a little weird, but you know.
I'm glad they got it though. So we get in some kind of fight regardless.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this one. I know Jesse wanted to hear what Fred had to say about this one, but it's taken a little bit of a turn, not necessarily because of any like hard news, but because the fight's still on. Rachael Ostovich, as we all know, was recently a victim of domestic violence, allegedly from done by her husband, right, who's also an MMA fighter. And the dude just came out, I guess he showed up to court and pleaded not guilty and all that. She's apparently out of the hospital and everything. The fight was canceled, and it's back on. And that means her fight against Paige Van Zandt on ESPN Plus, on the ESPN Plus debut, is going to be on. So that fight's still happening. But I know Jesse wanted to hear what you thought about that whole thing, Fred. The whole thing going down with Rachael. What was your reaction?
Man, look, I don't know. To be fair, man, this shit is a travesty, low key, right? Like we had the shit with what was the old broad's name? KGB.
Yeah, KGB and her husband. Hey, who they haven't found yet.
Right, and they, look, man, I don't know. This shit is it's strange too, right? Because they're female fighters, so I guess one would assume that they can kind of take care of themselves. But I guess if your fucking boyfriend is a fighter, fucking too, then he's kind of got a one up on you. I don't know, man. Listen, I'll tell you this. I hate to be one of these type of snobby pricks because that's not really my style. Mm-hmm. I don't really usually care what anybody fucking does as long as it doesn't bother me or mine. So I'm not usually the type to say, you're making us look bad. Mm-hmm. But I really care about this sport, man. I'm a big fucking fan, and we've been here for a long time. You feel like you're a part of something when you become a big fan of the sport. And this shit makes us look bad. Yep. It makes us look really fucking bad, man. Like all the bullshit with Nick Diaz and the brawls, that's what we do. Fucking Habib jumping over the cage. Boys being boys. You know what I mean? Like Conor got thunderstruck. Conor didn't press charges. This is how we do, man. No fans got hurt. That almost makes us look good in a weird way. We had a brawl and nothing got crazy. Nobody got stabbed. Shit just went the way it went. This shit makes us look like fucking animals. This is the type of shit that naysayers of MMA will point at when they're trying to make us look bad. Like, look at them. They're women beaters, and all these different female fighters got beat up by their boyfriends. And ironically enough, all of their boyfriends happen to be fighters. And it's just the type of shit that they're going to really use to paint the fucking sport in a bad way. Now, most people won't buy that, but you're going to have people who don't know what the fuck they're listening to, who are going to hear shit like that and go, oh yeah, look at the tattoos, and oh my God, you see that bloody fight, and look at the fucking picture behind Eddie's fucking head, fucking Nate with the blood on it. They're going to think we're a bunch of fucking bloodthirsty savages, man, that like beat women and kids. There are people that really still don't understand what this sport is about and how honorable it is. And when you get fucking asshats like this beating on fucking beautiful women and shit, it's a fucking travesty, man. Like again, I hate to be this snobby dude, but like there's literally no room for that type of shit in the sport. I mean, literally it's illegal too, but like, you know what I mean? Like these motherfuckers should be barred from all martial arts competitions, all gyms. Like they should get fucking blackballed from the martial arts community, man.
I'm with you on that. What do you think about that whole thing?
Man, you know what? I just agree with Fred, man. There's no room in the sport for this. I know, surprisingly, right, that I agree with Fred.
Wholeheartedly, without a but.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain things that in this sport that we have to agree upon, and it's especially true with situations like that. So, I mean, nothing more to add from me. except just support Fred and what he said.
There you go. All right.
How nice is that?
Yeah, look at that. A random moment of kumbayaness. Now let's talk about John Jones's bitch ass, or what we got next, Eddie. We're not
John
getting
Jones,
off the
talk about his
fucking
bitch
podcast.
ass.
Okay. I'll say
Did we talk about Nick Diaz a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, we did, but do we need to talk about him again?
No, I was just wondering because I don't remember. I put it on the show title.
Right? He's still fighting Jorge and everything.
Yeah. Like the UFC hasn't announced it yet. By the way, I'm going to that shit.
But that's the plan still.
Yeah. But I'm going to that shit.
Just remember, Eddie has to mention Diaz in every show to get that check to clear. So.
Yeah. Of course, the represent.
Just saying. Anyway, nah, motherfucker. No, like no, but I'm legit going to that. It's in Vegas. I'm fucking going. And Jesse, in case you feel like making a trip out. Anyway, fucking yeah, John Jones, dude. So John Jones been doing the media blitz fucking recently, obviously. And you know, I haven't paid attention to much of it, right? I've gotten this tweets and the sound bites and shit like that. It's for fighting Alexander Gustafsson and everything. But it seems like all he's talking about is like, look, man, I didn't cheat. I did get popped twice, but I didn't cheat. Like, the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, no. Fred, your thoughts?
You know, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't like the way John Jones makes me feel. I still have feelings for John.
Oh,
and
wow.
I can tell because of how fucking mad he made. Like, I know that cocksucker's lying. I could watch that fucking. I could just tell that. Like, I feel like an ex-wife who knows that her husband was cheating on her, and now I see this motherfucker like, we was just friends. I don't know why the bitch was tripping. You lying motherfucking piece of shit. A tablespoon of salt and in a lick-sized pool, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck if it was a fucking Coke horse snoot full of fucking salt in a fucking lip-sized pool. What the fuck was it doing there? Well, I have no idea. Well, that's fucking convenient, John. And I tell you what, shout out to fucking Max Kellerman for roasting his fucking ass and being like, good point, John. But how to get there? John, like, well, I don't know. And dude's like, well, you know, listen, if you was watching an athlete on TV and they're like, you know, the steroids were in there, it was a trace amount, but I've got no idea how it got there. What would you think? Come on, man. This is fucking ridiculous. Like, will you just stop with the bullshit, man? First time it was male enhancements. Yeah, John, because you're only fucking 27 alpha lion king of the jungle. You should need male enhancements. Like, that makes a whole lot of sense. Like, I love how he says that. Like, we're all supposed to just take it and be like, true. In your mid to early late 20s, motherfucker, I'm 34. Let me tell you something, Jack. I ain't got the most testosterone in the room. I don't need no fucking supplements or enhancements. Like, get the fuck out of here. I mean, real talk. I don't believe for a second and a half that John Jones needed fucking dick pills. That's fucking horse shit. And then the second steroid that you got. Okay, here we go. Give it to me, Jesse.
No, just remember, cocaine makes you not be able to get boners. So that is possibly why.
Also, steroid use.
No, listen.
Yes,
no,
you're right.
No. That is not always true. Now, let me introduce you to a motherfucker that knows a whole bunch of people who have done cocaine. That's not always the fucking case. I've known a couple guys that did fucking coke that would fuck the dog piss out of broads all night long on fucking coke. Not many. Not all guys. And I do know what you're saying. Some guys get the little coke dick, but none the fucking less. I'm fucking calling bullshit on that. I think that fucking John didn't need that. He could have waited. I don't buy that. And then the second time is the proof that's in the pudding. The second time he got caught with a full-blown steroid and there was no denying it. So now we try to just say that it was trace amounts.
It was trace amounts.
Man, can we get the fuck out of here with this bullshit?
Yeah, dude.
Wait. How am I defending John Jones from the freaking dick swinging John Jones fan over there? How's that possible? How do we trade roles here?
Okay. What did you guys think? I've been fucking carrying on. Do you believe this guy? I mean, what? Okay, listen, all bullshit aside, what the fuck do we think about John Jones now? How do you guys view John Jones now? I carry on a lot, but the truth is, look, if I'm being completely truthful, I don't know how I view John Jones, man. One part of me wants to honestly judge him harshly for this shit and say, hey, man, he fucking cheated. But the other hand, a part of me feels like he still is the greatest fighter we've ever had. Like, if I'm all bullshit aside, when he fights Alexander Gustafsson, I'll be watching and I'll be assuming or waiting on John Jones to do something great if I'm just keeping it a band. But I you know, what do we think about this cat? Real shit.
You know, I'm not trying to be mean or anything or a dick, but
you are.
Fred sounds like those women in, you know, abusive relationships where like they have the black eye and they're like, well, no, he didn't mean to hit me that hard. And honestly, I pissed him off before. And, you know, he can change. He told me he's going to change. He's going to stop drinking. He's going to stop lying to me. We're going to work this out. This is what Fred sounds to me right now because, and you know what, Fred? I'm right there with you. I hate John Jones. He pisses me off. It's frustrating because he has the natural ability, the talents, the skill, everything to be the greatest fighter in the world, and he pisses it all away for stupid stuff, the dumbest stuff, and he loses out on opportunities over stupid things and stupid ways. And yet, I'm excited to see him back against Gustafsson, and I cannot wait for that fight to happen. And I feel like I'm just getting beaten up and abused, and I'm just sticking around and waiting for the freaking other shoe to drop.
You know, one thing I will give John, having watched that interview that he did on the Noses show this week, the cute little prick didn't lie. He did say, yeah, I still smoke weed. I still drink. Can't help it. I thought I could quit, but I just can't, Jack. He said that he'll stop leading up to the fight, which is probably horseshit. But he did flat just say, like, yeah, I do. I smoke weed. I drink. I'm a wild motherfucker, and I'm probably going to fuck up again. It's possible. So I'll give him that. Look, to be honest, too, like to keep it a buck, I never cared about that. You call me an asshole. The fact that he hit a pregnant woman, not my business. That's between him and that's between him and his God. I'm a fan of his in martial arts. When I got offended is when they found the steroids, man. Beyond that, I don't care how many white girls you fuck or how much coke you do or how much you drink and drive. That's your fucking business, bro. You're the heavyweight champ or the light heavyweight baddest man on the fucking planet. You do you. You deserve a couple white girls from time to time. Have fun. Knock yourself out. I don't give a shit. But you can't be fucking cheating, bro. That's a fucking major, major fucking problem. If you're going to be our Ali, you know what I mean? Our Michael Jordan, you don't get caught fucking cheating and blame it on dick pills and Olympic-sized swimming pools and all this kind of fucking malarkey.
There you go. There you go. No, look, I don't believe him for shit either. I don't at all. Like I can't listen to fucking John Jones and believe a word he says ever again. He fucked that up a while ago. But he's like, for some reason, even though he's fighting Vader says, because I knew he was gonna screw shit up somehow. I just knew it. But he's still going after Daniel Cormier, even though he's fighting Gustafsson.
So
like, what is that about?
Let me ask you guys this.
Yeah.
How does this play out? We just seen how Chuck. This might be Chuck will probably fight again because he's a fucking maniac. But like we just kind of seen how Chuck's played out. How does all this play out with John Jones? Does he end up losing? Does he retire undefeated? Does our opinion end up changing? The next 2 or 3 years are going to be extremely telling for John Jones. Get your crystal balls out. Where does this all go to, man? Does he win enough to where we forget? Because that's possible. If the cute prick comes back and he never tests positive again and he wins like 4 fights, watch, I'll be on this fucking show 2 years from now sucking his fucking dick like he's a fucking goat. So what happens? How's this play out, man?
Look, I don't know if he's going to win or not. I'm not going to venture a guess. I will say this, though. If he doesn't come out like the old John Jones in this next fight or next few fights, whatever, he doesn't come out like the world beater we know he is or used to be. If he doesn't come out and fight like the greatest of all time, everybody's going to be like, oh, he was on steroids. If he shows up like he did against OSP, it's like, oh, this motherfucker's clean now, right? But if he shows up, just beats the living shit out of Gustafsson, gets his belt back, starts whooping on dudes left and right again, and he's clean, then I think what you said is going to happen. Where it's like, all right, he's going to go undefeated, whatever, and he's the GOAT.
All right, motherfucker, this ain't the show where we ride the fence, so that's cool that you played all that out, Eddie.
Fine.
How does this play out? Does he good or bad?
I think he beats Gustafsson.
Okay.
I think he beats him, gets the belt back, starts defending it, goes up to heavyweight, does his best to erase everything DC ever did in the UFC. calls himself the GOAT.
So you say it all plays out. Then he ends up
undefeated
and essentially ends up rewriting history for us.
Exactly. That's what I think happens.
Okay, Jesse, what do you think happens? What is John Jones' future?
You know what? I'm gonna steel myself here, and I'm gonna finally stand up to my abuser. I'm gonna say he's gonna get beaten by Gustafsson. He's gonna come back. He's gonna have a couple wins, and then somehow he's gonna lose another fight to somebody notable. Maybe him moving up in weight. Maybe he'll lose that fight, and that'll trigger him going on a coke bender and probably crashing in a car and killing himself.
God damn, you got specific.
Christ, fucking.
Got specific as fuck on that.
Yeah, I was about to second your emotion, but you lost me.
I got you.
You lost me at the car. Look,
look, real quick, Fred. I'm just saying that he has a destructive nature, and I don't see that working out well for him. And I see something where he starts to get on the right track, and then something derails him. And instead of that making him better or him learning from that just derails him to a breaking point, which would be sad. But, it is what it is.
I think John is naturally uber talented. I also think that John knowingly took steroids.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that if you're doing that, somewhere along the line, he lost his mental edge. So I think that as much as I can't stand the little small prick, there's only one Floyd Mayweather. And to be fair, Floyd kind of picked and chose his battles in a way that you can't really do in MMA. And I think that John had a good long run, but, look at all of our guys, right? Fedor, Anderson, anybody you can ever name, they all eventually taste defeat. I don't know whether it's, Gus, whether it's Kane or DC at heavyweight, or whether it's some cat that we haven't even heard of yet. But yeah, I think eventually John does lose, and I agree with Eddie, not about the fucking car crash, but I think that once he takes a couple L's, he spirals out of control and ends up, I think John Jones ends up ending out his career on a couple L's that nobody could foresee as of right now. You know what I mean? Like I think he ends up getting handled towards the tail end of his career from not taking care of his body, from partying. Like he could do it when he was younger, but I think as he gets older and that a little chink gets in that armor, I think that we see John Jones, in a way which we haven't saw him to date.
Are you thinking like a BJ Penn or a Chuck Liddell?
Well, won't be from old age.
Chuck Liddell. I think it'll be fast. BJ, what the fuck? He's fighting Ryan Hall this weekend. Chuck got snuffed out by Rich Franklin, and it was pretty much like, all right, buddy, that's all we can have of you. I think John is big enough that we're only going to let him lose 2 or 3 times, and then it's going to be like, we're not. You got to go. Like we're not. You're too expensive and too big. And I think at that point, like you said, I think if he loses a couple fights, I don't necessarily think he'll kill himself, but we already know how John does. I don't know whether it's going to be, a divorce, leaving his wife. I'm also not trying to wish any ill will on the fucking guy. All seriousness, you know what I mean? Like, but I do think that you're right about that, Jesse. The fucking guy is self-destructive, and Drake has a line in one of his songs where he says, "I probably self-destruct if I lose, but I never do." I think that could be attributed to John Jones a little bit. He hasn't lost yet, but if he does, I could totally see him self-destructing and being like, "Fuck it, where's the snow and the hose?"
Right? Yeah, that's a good point. All right, anything else we want to do before we talk about this weekend's card? Just make some picks real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Even though hopefully we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth next week. Copa Combate is coming to you live from Fresno, California. On the 7th, I believe it is, if I remember.
December 7th. Okay, next week.
So next week, yeah. So if you guys have DAZN, check it out on DAZN. It's an 8-man tournament, $100,000 at the end of the night. Someone gets that check, that big fat check. And we were talking about him with Mike Afrimowitz when we had him on the show.
Right.
Gaston Reno, Tonga. look out for that guy. He's exciting. He's charismatic. He's a young cat. Has a good look to him. Probably a real ladies guy. You know, if any ladies out there, if you guys want to look him up, he's not too bad on the eyes. So one of my favorites for the tournament. So check out that tournament next week. Should be exciting.
All right, 2 UFC cards this weekend. We got the one on Friday, Dos Anjos against Usman. I'll just go real quick through some of the people on the card. Tim Means is in the early prelims. Joe Benavidez against Alex Perez in the prelims. And then on the main card, Darren Stewart's on there. Brian Caraway's on there in the main event. RDA versus Kamaru Usman. Fred, your pick.
I gotta go with Usman. I've never I've had a hard on for RDA for years, Jack. I'm so ready to cancel RDA. But he's a tough prick. Every time I'm ready to see him lose, he fucking wins. But I think Usman's just too young, too strong, too athletic. He's and it's probably, but that's my initial reaction. I will say that this will be a big test for Usman. If he can't take RDA down, it's going to be a long night. RDA is a fucking firecracker, man. Yeah. So like, yeah, it's not going to be an easy fight for Usman at all. But I gotta go with the hype train, go with the young kid.
All right, Jesse, who you picking?
Damn, where's my hat? I didn't bring it today, but RDA, baby. His striking has improved. Obviously, working with Jason Perillo. Now he's doing his own thing, doing his strength and conditioning with Speed of Sport. Nick Herson, who does some wild stuff to have those guys cardio beyond, you know, what most people are capable of doing. So I think just those two things, him improving his striking, his ground game has improved a lot, but his cardio and his striking, and since his last fight against Colby Covington, I think he's going to really shore up a lot of that wrestling defense that he had going into that fight. So I think it's going to be a better fight for him. So RDA.
Yeah. Yo, has anybody ever been more hated for getting one piece of pussy than Brian Caraway for fucking Miesha Tate?
No.
I still hate him for that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, like, I seen his name on the card. I'm like, oh yeah, I hope he loses. And I'm like, why do I not like Brian Caraway? Like,
think about it for a second, right?
Miesha Tate. Like,
let me ask you,
they all universally hate him for that. He's like, how the fuck are you fucking hurt? Yeah. What the fuck? That's not fair at all. Like, we hate you.
But now let me ask you this: how come nobody hates on her new man?
Who?
Exactly. Who is?
Exactly.
We don't know. Yeah. He's not there in the limelight. We've seen Brian Caraway, and plus Brian Caraway looks like a fucking absolute piece of shit.
He's a dick.
I don't mean that metaphorically. I just mean he's ugly on the eyes. He's
all right.
He's a literal turd.
That's terrible.
I'm taking Usman. He's gonna drag RDA to the ground and just beat him up. That's it.
Do any of us think that okay, well, fuck it. Jesse's actually picking RDA. Do we see a finish in this fight at all? Do you think? Because I don't think he's gonna finish. I don't think he gets a finish. Do you think RDA gets a finish, Jesse?
I think he can. And honestly, if it goes the other way, I think Usman can actually get the finish as well. I think there'll be a finish in this fight. Okay,
so you do. Okay, fair enough. I think a decision, Eddie. Decision.
Jesse's like that guy on TV that goes, "Don't blink, guys. This fight's not gonna last 5 rounds." 25 minutes later, your eyes are all bone red, fucking hurting like a bitch, burning because you haven't blinked for a fucking 25 minutes. The hell.
Look. I'm just saying. You know, I'll buy you a round of drinks if this goes to decision.
All right. All right. The very next night in Australia, you got J Diaz against Tuivasa, which is, to me, it's a fucking great fight. Some of the guys on this card, you got Wilson Heising against Ben Nguyen. Early on, Yushin Okami, as Dave was talking about. Dave Madden is super excited about Yushin Okami fighting. What are you saying?
I said it's Ben Nguyen, not
Nguyen. My bad, Nguyen. Yeah, all right, well. Shit, if you know how to fucking say it, tell me, motherfucker. Shit.
I was trying
before I say it. Anyway, Paul Craig's on this card. Jake Mad's taking on Tony Martin. Shogun Hu taking on Tyson Pedro. So that's going to be one of those you watch through your fingers like, fuck. Mark Hunt against Justin Wilson, the co-main. And the main event, JDS against Tai Tuivasa. Let's pick the main event. JDS against Tuivasa. Jesse, who are you picking?
I think Tuivasa maybe. Just younger, less miles on him. I think he'll be able to put away JDS. By the way, Real quick before you guys pick, what do you think is the future for Mark Hunt, seeing as this is his last fight on his contract? Does he come back, or is this the last fight we see Mark Hunt in the UFC?
Nah. I mean, say goodbye, baby. Mark Hunt is fucking hitting the dusty trail. I didn't think we'd ever see his funny fat ass in the UFC anyways. He's outstayed his welcome. I think he's ready to go. I think the UFC is ready to see him go with all his goddamn lawsuits. I think it is safe to say that win, lose, or draw, Mark Hunt is fucking deuce piecing. The better question is, where is he going? One fucking PFL, you know what I mean? Like I think he's definitely leaving the UFC. I would be extremely surprised to see him stick with the UFC at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm gonna take. Well, are we picking the Mark Hunt fight or just the main event?
No. I was just asking his future, but
okay.
Go ahead with the main event.
Cool. I think Mark Hunt fucking goes away for a little bit and then gets called to Bellator because of money. And because I don't know, dude, the dude's just a bad motherfucker. He'll be like, "You're gonna pay me what? Yeah, I'll take that."
I think he goes to one. I think one is doing some big boy ass shit. I think he'd be a good fit over there.
Him and who's over there?
Brandon Vera, I think.
Brandon Vera. I wouldn't be upset at that fight.
Fuck yeah, man. I think they'll do it.
Yeah, wouldn't be upset at the fight. All right, but main event, Jesse, who'd you pick?
I said Tuivasa.
Tuivasa, Fred.
I am picking JDS, but I hope Tuivasa wins because he's the disgusting prick that does those shoeies, right? He's like fucking drinking spit and beer out of people's fucking shoes. Fuck yeah. I'd give my left nut to see that shit again. That was disgusting.
Yeah. I got Tuivasa. Nice little overhand right. Ends JDS's night and maybe his career. JDS as a kid now, he's taking too much damage at this point. All right. Real quick, and this is courtesy of my friend Dan from Oregon at Dan from OR on Twitter. He's put the MMA schedule for this week. So Friday, LF55 on Access TV, Bellator 210 on what are the zone? I guess what are they on?
Paramount and the Zone.
Paramount and the Zone.
Also, Tough 28 finale in the same day, and then Bellator 211 on Saturday, along with UFC Adelaide, and the last pick of tonight, Deontay Wilder against fucking dude. Wilder Fury is gonna be crazy. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Fred, who are you picking?
Okay, so I tell you what, man. Ironically enough, this is one of those weird times where my most exciting fight for this weekend, and a weekend packed full of fights, is a boxing match. And I'll tell you something, Jack. Not just a little bit. I am fucking way more excited for Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury than anything MMA related this weekend, man. This fucking fight has got it all. Fucking two huge 6'7" undefeated heavyweights.
Strong as fuck.
Fucking crazy stories. An undefeated American heavyweight against a British heavyweight. It's got literally almost everything you can ask for in a fight, man. I am picking Deontay Wilder. 38 knockouts, 39-0. The only prick that made it the distance got knocked out in the rematch. So every dude he has ever fought, he has knocked the fuck out. He's huge. He's brash. He's cocky. I've been watching all the like fucking preview shows. I have literally not been this excited for a boxing match in years. I mean, I was probably this excited for Floyd Connor, but that was novelty. This is real boxing. And Tyson Fury's fucking story is incredible. Fucking the dude is a fucking weirdo gypsy, ends up beating Klitschko, the first guy, after like fucking 12 years to end his reign. And then he fucking loses his mind, literally, becomes a fucking drunked out cokehead, gains like 400 pounds while doing blow, and then fucking reads a tweet from Deontay Wilder one day calling him a fat boy, saying he can't do it. Has a fucking epiphany, goes on a run, and changes his life. Loses fucking a couple 100 pounds, takes a couple tune-up fights, and a year and a half later is fighting Deontay Wilder, two undefeated heavyweights, by far the best, most intriguing heavyweight boxing match in fucking years. And Deontay Wilder's fighting style. Tyson Fury's fighting style is a little meh. He's very good, but almost John Fitch's as far as like the excitement level goes. Tyson Fury can definitely lull you to sleep sometimes with his performances. But Deontay Wilder, on the other hand, is a fucking wild man. As stated before, every fight's been a knockout. That fucking kid goes for it, man. Thank Tyson if he was 6'7" with fucking John Jones arms.
Yep.
I mean, fight's incredible, man. I'm picking Deontay Wilder by knockout. The train keeps rolling. Extremely fucking excited for this match, though, dude. Extremely.
So you taking Wilder?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Jesse?
You know what? I just like to be opposite of Fred just because it's the greatest thing ever for me. So Tyson Fury by knockout, and then we're gonna hear him sing "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" by Aerosmith again to his wife. So highlight of the night for me.
Yo, listen, I will say sorry to step in before you, Eddie. There, but one good thing about this fight too, God damn, it's so exciting. You've got Anthony Joshua, the third part of this whole thing, who's another British guy. So no matter how this fight plays out, there's another big fight to be had. And if Tyson Fury does win, you know he's going to fucking call out his fellow countrymen and call him a sissy and a wimp. And matter of fact, I mean, Deontay will too, but it'll almost be a little more intriguing if it's Tyson because they're from the same fucking country and shit, two Englishmen going at it like that. It's going to be fucking good one way or the other.
Yeah. Look, man, I've watched the fucking their version of Countdown and shit like that.
It was good.
It was very well done.
Really
very well done. I enjoy that more than the Countdown. The Countdowns are they're really good. This is better by a lot to me. Production value is incredible. They let these guys just do whatever they want, talk about whatever they want. They don't sit them down and ask some stupid ass shit, like just dumbass shit, which is great. So when it comes down to this, I don't even want to get to the tactics and the whatever the fuck they could do. Well, you know, Tyson Fury's got this and this, and Wilder's this. What I like about this fight is the personalities. There's so much fun. Tyson Fury is a funny ass motherfucker. Deontay Wilder's a wild ass motherfucker. Like, these dudes are the shit. If you watch the Showtime, like you see, Wilder's like a regular dude. Tyson Fury is a regular dude with a great sense of humor, but you can relate to one or the other, if not both, right? This is a great fucking fight that I wish even more people were talking about. And they would, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you can promote it better, but still, it's a great fucking fight. I can't fucking wait for it. I'm hyped as shit about it. I think my boy Deontay Wilder is going to knock Fury the fuck out. I think people talking about Deontay Wilder, to talk about technique for a second. I think people saying that he's just a wild puncher. He's got 2 punches. That's all he's got. Are full of shit. I think he's going to get into with technique. But I think the second he gets Fury hurt, he's going to go fucking bomb squat on his ass and just looping punches was looking for the finish. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be wild. Honestly, I don't think you could. I think the biggest winners in this night is going to be us. I think we're going to get a crazy fight, no matter who wins. I honestly don't care who wins. I'm rooting for Deontay, but I don't even care who wins. I think it's going to be a fucking crazy fight either way. And this is the first time I've been excited about like a boxing match. Honestly, this is the second Triple G Canelo, which wasn't too long ago, but before that had been a minute. So it's I'm excited about this fight for real. So but Deontay Wilder KO.
Yeah, and there's just something about, like, I forgot about that. I was pretty excited for Triple G Canelo too, but there's just something about the heavyweight.
Right.
It comes with, it's different than MMA, man. In boxing, the heavyweight championship has such a prestige because of the champions that have held it before, the George Foremans, the Joe Frazier's, the Ali's.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a prestigious thing to have. And it seems like for so long, we haven't had that guy in boxing. And quite frankly, we won't get him Saturday night. We'll get a piece of it, but we still have Anthony Joshua out there. That's another cool thing about this whole thing.
Yeah,
we get another big fight if Anthony Joshua stops being a bitch and steps up to the plate and fights one of these gentlemen, and he'll have to. Once this fight happens, whoever wins this fight, Anthony Joshua absolutely 1,000,000% has to fucking fight.
Especially given the last couple of guys that Joshua has fought. They're like, huh? Who?
Yeah.
Like,
and I'll say this too. Mark my words, if Deontay Wilder finishes Tyson Fury Saturday night, and if Anthony Joshua fights him, that fight will be bigger than this one. And if, I know these are a lot of ifs, but if Deontay Wilder knocks out Anthony Joshua, things are going to get crazy. At that point, he'll be 41-0, and he will be the first, like, solidified, he'll enter that Frazier Ali You know, Floyd Mayweather type territory. Now, those are two big mountains to overcome, but Deontay Wilder could possibly be one of the biggest stars in combat sports within a year and a half or so.
And one of the things Wilder talks about is unifying the belts. And that's what I like about him the most. Honestly, he's just like, no. We can only have one guy. UFC and W, whatever the fuck, and everybody else. We can't have 8 champions. One motherfucker, one baddest man on the planet. And that's what he wants to do. And I'm like, fuck yeah, go get that shit, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and he's American. Come on. Like fucking Klitschko had the belt for years. We finally got an American champion. We should all be really rallying behind this guy, man. We finally got our Ali and our Mike Tyson rather back, and nobody fucking Deontay Wilder could walk around Dayton and not even fucking probably get mugged by anybody. Don't nobody know who Deontay than he is.
Right. All right. Oh, Raiders picking Wilder. She goes Wilder, heavyweights in LA, love it. Fucking wish I can go to that fight for real. But all right. Anything else tonight? We're done? We're good?
Yeah, I think that's it, man. Listen, enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a fucking fantastic weekend of fights, man. 4 MMA fights, and then the best boxing match and the best heavyweight boxing match in over a decade.
Yeah, easily. All right. Well, shout out to Dave Mann, who was on here. Raider was hanging out this whole night. Joey Tremendous, I don't know where he went. He was here for a minute. And if you fuck with us, we really appreciate you guys. You guys are the shit. We love the haters. We love the you know, everyone that fucks with us. You guys are all the shit. Haters can suck a dick, but still, you know, you guys know how we feel about y'all. All right, shout out to Represent. What up?
Real quick, of course, as always, Fred Kirby's show, Gem City Jesus Podcast.
Yes.
Always check that out, and then support my boy Eddie and his The Morning Toke. Always with the fresh news in the morning and his ramblings of his bitching and complaining about traffic and where he lives.
Honestly, I need to stop doing that show when I'm driving because it's irritating as fuck to be like, motherfucker, what? Like, and then like no one can see it. Like, I wish I need to get a dash cam just so I can throw that shit up on YouTube. Like, you motherfuckers to see how fucking like the dumbasses in Arizona. Anyway, all right. Shout out representwarriors.com. You got a brand new gi with fucking, the thing is sick as shit. It really is fucking legit. So if you're looking for a new gi and you got some coin to spend, definitely go over to repthewarriors.com. Get yourself that new brand new gi from Represent. And then spicypros.com. Yeah, look, man, we're gonna keep doing this damn thing as long as we still enjoying it. We still are enjoying it. So appreciate you guys. Follow Fred Kirby at Kirby_MMA. Follow Jesse at SWAT1983. I'm at Ela31. The show's a Keyboard MMA. You guys are the shit. We fucking love y'all. Good night and good night, Wilshire.